What's up, everybody? I'm Stella Chung, and this is the Weekly Fix, the show where we round up all the gaming and entertainment headlines you may have missed this week. Nintendo has issued an official apology for the poor performance issues in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, plus Microsoft is planning to raise the retail price of their first-party games because they really need more money. In the entertainment world, we're breaking down the trailer for Transformers: Rise of the Beasts and the design for an upcoming Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania villain that has been leaked. Kinda. I can't believe I have to say this again, but it's news in time.
Following widespread outrage from players, Nintendo has issued an apology for the rough state of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet at launch and promises the next patch will fix the game's awful technical problems. Nintendo issued the apology on its support website alongside the announcement of software update version 1.1.0, which aims to address player feedback and implement changes that will improve the game. It's extremely uncharacteristic of Nintendo to admit problems regarding their games, so it says a lot about how rough this year's Pokemon game launch has been. The statement reads, quote, "We are aware that players may encounter issues that affect the game's performance. Our goal is always to give players a positive experience with our games, and we apologize for the inconvenience. We take the feedback from players seriously and are working on improvements to the games." According to the patch notes, the update will fix bugs involved with music played during the Elite Four and Top Champion battles, as well as other select bug fixes will be made. In addition to addressing known issues, the patch will also kick off Season 1 of ranked battles through the Battle Stadium. Okay, in all seriousness, this is kinda an embarrassing display of patch notes. We don't have to wait long to see how much this update actually fixes since it's meant to drop today, but I doubt it'll be the fine-tuning this game desperately needs. Adding ranked battle is great and all, and fixing a late-game music glitch is a start, but this doesn't seem to touch on any of what's really frustrating players. In any case, today's patch is a start, but let's hope it's the first of many to get this game in fighting shape, because technical issues aside, it sounds like everyone's having a pretty good time with it. On brighter news, some new additions to Xbox Game Pass have been announced for the month of December, and there are some solid games to keep you busy over the holidays. On December 6th, LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga will be free to all Game Pass subscribers, and if you slept on this one earlier this year, you're in for a treat. It gives all three Star Wars trilogies the LEGO treatment, and it's playable in couch co-op, so it's a solid game to play with family members of all ages. If you want something a little more M-rated, there's Metal Hellsinger, the rhythm-based shooter which, as the title suggests, is very metal. And if you want a shooter where the guns talk to you instead of playing guitar solos, High on Life is still on track for its December 13th release. Some other new titles hitting Game Pass is the indie action RPG Eastworld, the stealthy puzzle adventure Hello Neighbor 2, the adorable alchemy simulator Potioncraft, and The Walking Dead: The Final Season, the video game, not the show. To catch the full list of games and release dates, you can check out our article on IGN.com or just poke around on the Game Pass.
The organizers of the Smash World Tour announced this week their 2022 finals and its 2023 series of events were canceled following a notice from Nintendo that the tournament could no longer operate without a Nintendo license. Today, Nintendo has issued a lengthy statement explaining the decision to not offer SWT a license to host its future Smash Bros. Events. In a statement to IGN, Nintendo articulated its decision to deny SWT a license was quoted as solely based on our assessment of the proposals submitted by the SWT and our evaluation of their unlicensed activities. Nintendo further clarified that, quote, any partner that we grant a license to has to meet the high standards we require when it comes to the health and safety of our fans. It's also important that a partner adheres to brand and IP guidelines and conducts itself according to professional and organizational best practices. We use this same approach to independently assess all partners. If we discover that a partner is doing something inappropriate, we will work to correct it. Nintendo's response comes days after Smash World Tour's organizer claimed the organization was told, quote, without warning, they could no longer operate. The organizers revealed negotiations with Nintendo to receive a license to operate Smash Bros. Tournaments had been declined even after Nintendo noted SWT did not infringe on the company's IP. SWT organizers revealed in the blog post, quote, "Our Nintendo rep opened by letting us know that they are being asked to deliver the news that going forward, Nintendo expects us to only operate with a commercial license and that we would not be granted one for the upcoming championships or any activity in 2023. Nintendo would verbally inform SWT organizers that it was not asking it to cancel its 2022 finals, further clarifying in its statement that, quote, "The decision to cancel the SWT 2022 was and still is their SWT's own choice." However, making the decision to decline SWT a Nintendo license and informing the organizer they could no longer operate their tournament and yet expecting its organizers to not cancel its finals and 2023 events seems hypocritical. What's more, last year, Nintendo made strides to enter the competitive scene, announcing its officially licensed tournament with Panda Global titled Panda Cup. In a statement by Smash World Tour, it alleged Panda CEO Alan Bunny made efforts to sabotage ongoing discussions between Smash World Tour and Nintendo, impacting the tournament's closure, saying, quote, "They told us that they had been told by Alan, the CEO and co-founder of Panda, that we were going to get shut down and were not coming back in 2022. Panda Global has since issued a statement in response confirming its CEO did in fact act in bad faith and said, quote, "The Panda Cup team does acknowledge and regret an interaction between Dr. Allen and Beyond the Summon in which he spoke in a manner which did not reflect either guidance from Nintendo or our own standards. Panda took effort to rectify the situation immediately, and in the second half of the year, a dedicated team made up of multiple staff members were assembled to manage Panda Cup activities and serve as the primary point of contact for event runners, removing the possibility of future miscommunications from occurring. Panda took effort to rectify the situation immediately, and in the second half of the year, a dedicated team made up of multiple staff members was assembled to manage Panda Cup activities and serve as the primary point of contact for event runners, removing the possibility of future miscommunications from occurring. Although Nintendo did not request any changes to or cancellation of SWT's remaining events for 2022, it remains to be seen what the company had expected when it denied the organization a Nintendo license to conduct a tournament according to the best practices the company demanded its partners adhere to. Moving on, the Callisto protocol has had a rocky launch, and there have been reports of performance issues, crashing, and kernel errors across all platforms. Now the CEO of developer Striking Distance Studio has come forward to state the issues were due to an error caused by someone rushing on the job.
In a string of replies on Twitter, CEO Glenn Schofield explained that at launch, one of the devs hurrying to fix issues loaded the wrong patch file. While this is certainly an explanation, many have complained that Schofield's comment, throwing his employees under the bus, was in bad taste. Many responded to the CEO's statement stating that crunch time and rushing the devs is completely under his purview and ultimately a reflection of poor business practice. Schofield eventually changed his tune, stating that,
"I'll figure out how this happened, but right now my focus is fixing. All our energy is on that. In the end, I'm responsible and accountable." As of December 4th, patches are live for all consoles that will fix most performance-related issues, crashes, and frame rate drops. The studio has promised to listen to player feedback and will continue to share details on upcoming improvements.
We finally have a better sense of the future of Call of Duty as Microsoft has officially announced a 10-year commitment to bring the franchise to Nintendo consoles. In a string of tweets, Xbox boss Phil Spencer shared news of its commitment to Nintendo consoles following its acquisition of Activision Blizzard. Alongside this news, Spencer confirmed Microsoft will continue to offer Call of Duty titles on Steam, treating the franchise like it does Minecraft. The Xbox boss further stated that Call of Duty will ship on PlayStation so long as there's a PlayStation to ship to, with reports indicating Microsoft has offered a similar 10-year deal to Sony to keep the franchise on the platform. This is obviously good news for, well, everyone, specifically Nintendo console owners, as the last time a mainline Call of Duty title hit the platform was 2013's Call of Duty Ghosts. It does pose the question, what does Microsoft have planned for the COD franchise? The commitment to Nintendo, Steam, and PlayStation could mean a version of Warzone 2.0 for Switch, the Steam Deck, or mobile platforms. Back in October, it was revealed Microsoft was currently developing its own Xbox mobile storefront to rival Apple and Google. This commitment would help build on existing Activision Blizzard communities, shifting gamers to its new Xbox mobile platform, and what better way to do that than with the Call of Duty franchise? Though the Activision Blizzard and Microsoft deal is being reviewed by the FTC and regulators in the UK and Europe, the two parties have until July 2023 to close the deal. Moving on, Sonic's co-creator Yuji Naka was reportedly arrested again for alleged insider trading just 3 weeks after his last arrest, but this time it involves a Final Fantasy game. In a report translated by Bloomberg reporter Takashi Mochizuki from the Asahi Shimbun, Naka, alongside other former Square Enix employees, were arrested by the Tokyo District Public Prosecutor's Office for allegedly buying shares in Final Fantasy VII The First Soldier developer, a Team Entertainment Incorporation. The prosecutor's office alleged the group bought shares after finding out the studio was working on the game for Square Enix, but before the information was made public. Insider trading, the buying and/or selling of stock with confidential or non-public information with the intention to make money, is considered illegal both in the United States and in Japan. Naka was also arrested 3 weeks ago for suspected insider trading involving a Dragon Quest Tact mobile game and allegedly bought 10,000 shares in its developer aiming ahead of a partnership with Square Enix. Guard your wallets tightly, fellow gamers, as Microsoft is joining the fray and plans to raise the price of its first-party titles for its Xbox Series consoles in 2023. Xbox is preparing to join other major game publishers in raising the prices of its first-party next-gen titles from $60 to $70 USD. Games built for the Xbox Series X and S include Forza Motorsport, Redfall, and Starfield, which will cost $69.99 USD at launch, with other region price specifics still unknown. In a statement to IGN, Microsoft conveyed its reasoning for the price change. This price reflects the content scale and technical complexity of these titles. As with all games developed by our teams at Xbox, they will also be available with Game Pass the same day they launch. Xbox is not the first company to raise its prices. Sony, Ubisoft, and Take-Two Interactive also announced its $70 price point for certain games, with Sony reporting discussions of raising its prices even higher. As for console prices, PlayStation 5 has already been hit with a price increase, and Nintendo is not ruling out an increase on the Switch in the future. Microsoft clarified it had no plans to do the same for its current Xbox. However, that sentiment has changed since October, when Spencer publicly stated, "We've held price on our console, we've held price on games in our subscription. I don't think we'll be able to do that forever. I do think at some point we'll have to raise some prices on certain things." With video game development becoming increasingly more expensive over the years, ongoing inflation in the global market, and supply chain shortages also affecting game console makers' unit sales, it makes sense why a lot of major publishers are increasing their prices. But how do you feel about this trickle-down economic price hike? Are you willing to pay more for games and consoles come 2023? Will it ultimately affect what you play or purchase? Let me know in the comments. Moving on, CD Projekt Red revealed in a recent report it was giving Cyberpunk 2077 The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt treatment. In a report by Polish website Stockwatch, CD Projekt Red announced during its investor conference that it would follow in The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt's footsteps by releasing a Game of the Year edition for Cyberpunk 2077. Although we have no further details on 2077's Game of the Year edition, we do know it will be released after the Phantom Liberty expansion, arriving in 2023. The Phantom Liberty DLC will be Cyberpunk 2077's one and only paid expansion, including hours of new story content for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, S, and PC.
It's time to take a quick break. When we come back, we go over how Avatar: The Last Airbender has been affected by James Cameron's Avatar films, and we explain the timeline of the Transformers series regarding its latest film, Rise of the Beasts. See you in a bit. Welcome back. A crew member of Avatar: The Last Airbender has revealed that when the show first premiered, they were running into some legal issues with James Cameron's Avatar franchise. But before air gliding into that, the official trailer for Transformers: Rise of the Beasts just dropped, and we got a full breakdown just for you. Let's check it out.
Alright, now in the Transformers Rise of the Beast movie, we're getting the Autobot crew with Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, RC, Mirage, and Wheeljack all seen in the trailer, along with some of the Maximals making their live-action debut with Optimus Primal, Rhinox, Cheetor, and Air Razor. Then we also see the Terracons, Battletrap, and Scourge make an appearance in the trailer as well. Now, Scourge will apparently be the main antagonist of the film. Now, for those unfamiliar with the Maximals, they're Transformers who disguise themselves as organic animals. And in the Beast Wars series, the Maximals and their opposing side, Predacons, are actually from the future of the Transformers timeline, but due to the leader of the Predacons, Megatron, named after Megatron, wanting to change the outcome of the Great War between the Autobots and the Decepticons, they're all sent to prehistoric Earth, a time before the Autobots and Decepticons have awakened to start their beef with one another, which we all see play out in the G1 Transformers series and that subsequent animated movie where that one Autobot got the touch and had the power. Y'all know the one I'm talking about, yeah.
Now, light our darkest hour.
Anyways, hopefully that wasn't too confusing of a summary, but when you're dealing with the Transformers and its overall lore, it's bound to get a little hairy at certain points. Now, speaking of hairy, we didn't see Rat Trap in the trailer, but y'all best believe he'll be in the film, likely a reveal in a future trailer. Now, he's been a fan favorite since his appearance in Beast Wars and again in Beast Machines. Now, he's also Optimus Primal's right-hand man, so to not have him make an appearance in the live-action movie, y'all best believe there's gonna be an uproar amongst fans.
Well, that's just pride.
Well, I hope it's not just Prime, I hope it's Rat Trap too. Anyways, we also didn't see the leader of the Predacons, Megatron, make an appearance along with Waspinator, and I think we're all living for the moment to hear him say this in the movie.
Waspinator, terrorize!
And I think we all want to hear Megatron say, yes, in a way that's both unsettling and a turn on, if that's your kink.
Oh, I like you, pussycat. Yes.
Ooh, that feels so creepy, and yet it feels so right. Yes. Anyways, the film is looking to really blend all these different Transformers timelines, which will be interesting to see how they pull it all off. Now, Netflix's Transformers War of Cybertron trilogy was a brilliant telling of the Transformers story, which combined elements from the original Transformers mythos with the Beast Wars story to tell a rather unique and compelling narrative with all those characters. Now, from the Rise of the Beasts trailer, we'll be getting our fair amount of Cybertronians, both good and bad guys, so it'll be interesting to see how the big screen handles it all in live action. As for the timelines of these movies, including the Michael Bay films, from what we were able to break down from the collection of Transformer films are the following. Bumblebee the movie takes place in the year 1987, so it's a prequel to all the previous films. Transformers Rise of the Beast takes place after that in 1994. Now, Transformers the movie has flashbacks that go back to 1897, where a Wiki activates Megatron's navigational device and he hones in on the coordinates of the Allspark. Damn, Wikis, look what you did, man. Anyways, but that film, the first in the Michael Bay line of movies, takes place in 2007. Now, Transformers Revenge of the Fallen is in 2009, but we're given lore that goes back to 17,000 BC, where the original Autobots, known as Primes, were doing Prime things until one of the Primes decided to do some evil Prime things, becoming the first Decepticon, known as the Fallen. Well, ain't that just Prime? Yeah. Anyways, then we have Transformers Dark of the Moon's timeline in 2012, but we see visions of occurrences from 1961 where an invention that is capable of ending the war between the Autobots and the Decepticons crash lands on the moon. Then there's Transformers Age of Extinction taking place in 2017, but it opens with a scene that takes place 65 million years in the past where these aliens cover the Earth with something known as Transformium that subsequently kills all of the damn dinosaurs. So that's how it happened. Go tell the history books, everyone. Anyways, finally, we have Transformers The Last Night, which takes place in 2018, but takes us back to 484 AD, where Merlin, yeah, you all know Merlin, that wizard man, enlists the help of a bunch of Transformers just chilling to help him and King Arthur defeat the Saxons. It's not really their fight, but whatever. Anyway, so you can see Bumblebee and Rise of the Beast takes place before the slew of Michael Bay films, which is the best way to do it in my opinion. Trying to make sense out of the Bay timeline and justify certain Transformers coming back would be exhausting. Now, the Bumblebee movie gave a new life to the live-action Transformers films, and Rise of the Beasts is shaping up to do the very same, especially with the introduction of the Beast Wars line of characters. It's exactly what fans of the 90s television series wanted, and we're getting it, y'all. Now, let's just hope all our favorites make an appearance. Now, which Beast Wars characters are you hoping to see in this film, and what did you think of the trailer? Sound off in the comment section down below, and let's discuss. Transformers Rise of the Beast hits theaters June 9th, 2023. All right, now we're learning more about James Cameron's Avatar franchise, including an anecdote about how the first film's title forced Nickelodeon to make a change to one of their very own shows that I bet you could already guess which one I'm talking about. Avatar: The Last Airbender animator Giancarlo Volpe posted this tweet where he mentioned how back in 2004, the animation team had to change the name and add The Last Airbender to the title because James Cameron had the rights to the movie. And with the sequel to the film entitled The Way of Water, I bet the Water Tribe is likely shaking in their boots, with Giancarlo saying they'll riot if the third movie is called The Firebending Masters, which obviously it won't be called that. Anyway, James Cameron had been developing Avatar for a long time, since 1994, so he had the rights to produce something with that word for a while. Now, regardless, both properties are and have been a hit amongst fans and resonate with audiences across the globe to this day. And it seems Avatar 2 is a hit with the press, as critics are already raving about The Way of Water. Journalists have taken to the internet with positive reactions, seemingly blown away by the depths of James Cameron's latest masterpiece. Now, I know I'm using a lot of flowery verbiage here, and honestly, I hate it because I haven't seen the movie myself. And we'll all have to wait and see how we feel about The Way of Water when Avatar 2 hits theaters December 16th. And finally, in less flowery language, The Rock's Black Adam movie is losing his place in the hierarchy of power at the box office, with the latest DCEU film reportedly standing to lose between $50 and $100 million at the box office. Now, according to Variety, this is mostly due to the movie currently generating about $387 million worldwide since release, against a production cost of $195 million, a marketing budget ranging from $80 to $100 million, and theaters keeping around half the ticket sales. And with all that, the movie will reportedly break even at $600 million, with WB disputing those numbers. Now, the superhero film did start off strong at the box office, earning $140 million globally in its first weekend. Now, regardless of those numbers, we'll likely see The Rock return as Black Adam to take on Superman, which I think we're all excited about. Right now, while we wait to get a glimpse of MODOK's theatrical form, Funko's giving us our first peek at what the villain will potentially look like in the upcoming Marvel film. Now, in a tweet posted earlier, Funko showcased upcoming Funko Pops and keychains featuring the big-headed baddie. Now, as you can see, he's fully armored, almost looking like a golden variant of Ultron. Now, this particular take on MODOK is likely his final form or his battle armor, as we'll surely see a big fleshy face attached to that tiny little torso, at least, for the comic relief, of course, if anything. Now, the description for the Funko Pop reads, quote, "Explore the quantum realm, but watch out for MODOK. He's heading out for big adventures as a Funko Pop, floating along on his doomsday chair. Anticipate a universe of adventures with Funko collectibles from Marvel Studios' Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania." Now, we currently don't know who will be playing the mental organism designed only for killing, but if it was up to me, I'd give it to Patton Oswalt. Now, he did a phenomenal job on the animated Hulu series, and it's a shame it was canceled after just one season. Now, Marvel Studios has a track record of making animated counterparts live-action realities, as we've seen with Captain Carter from the What If animated series jumping on into live action with Doctor Strange 2. Now, it's totally conceivable to have Patton as MODOK, and to his credit, he kind of already looks like him. And just look at this image. Now, he clearly took his role seriously for the animated series, and he could bring that very same depth and humor in the live action. I'm curious to know who y'all think will play MODOK in the upcoming Ant-Man and the Wasp film. Sound off down below and look forward to Quantumania hitting theaters February 17th of 2023. As Ant-Man crawls his way by, Spider-Man thrips his way onto the scene with this new image from Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Now, along with this new image, which pictures Miles and Gwen sitting upside down, we're teased that we'll soon get a new view from Across the Spider-Verse coming December 13th. Now, we do know that this sequel aims to amaze audiences with 6 different art styles, and it will make a colorful splash onto the big screen June 2nd, 2023. And speaking of making a big splash, Rick and Morty season 6's finale is aiming to do just that come December 11th in an episode entitled Rick National Mortfoon's Rick Miss Mortcation. So weird. That's what they do, though. I know with their titles. Anyways, if it isn't obvious, it'll be a holiday special of sorts with Rick delivering presents he gathered from across the multiverse. From the promo, it's hard to say if we'll get a finale as grounded as the 5th season, but whatever we get, it'll be exciting to enjoy it over chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Does anyone actually even roast chestnuts over an open fire? I don't know. Anyways, Rick and Morty's season 6 finale airs December 11th.
I'm Stella Chung, and that was your Weekly Fix. We'll be back here next Saturday with more of the biggest gaming and entertainment news of the week. See you then.